mynews.studio.
The Amazon's future has taken a turn. Brazil just gave the Munduruku tribe legal control over 178,000 hectares of rainforest. Does this mean deforestation will slow down, or are there new challenges ahead?
Today's date is August 3rd, 2025. Let's get straight to it. Brazil now officially recognizes the Munduruku's claim to the Sare Moibu territory, 178,173 hectares to be precise. What's actually different on the ground now?
So, the formal demarcation is a big step. It's not just a signature. It means the land is now mapped and recognized as Munduruku territory. That creates a legal wall against mining and logging. But, and this is crucial, does that really stop illegal extraction?
That's exactly it. Legal status is only the beginning. The real test is enforcement. For this territory, paperwork won't be enough. Federal agencies have to mark boundaries, actually remove illegal loggers and miners, and monitor the land. Is the government providing enough resources for all of that?
Resources are a challenge, honestly. Surveillance and on-the-ground enforcement need funding, and that's not always steady. There's been some joint effort with Indigenous patrols, but without long-term government support, illegal activities could still slip through. Why is that collaboration with Indigenous patrols so important here?
Because the Indigenous communities know these forests inside out. They're usually first to spot illegal activities, and their management has a real track record. Deforestation rates are lower where they have stewardship. The science is pretty clear, but there's a new complication. Federal Law 14.701 passed last year. Can you break down what it actually changes?
Yes, it's a recent law that makes land demarcation harder. It gives extractive industries more access, even on Indigenous territory, and slows the process with new procedures. So, even though the Munduruku have this recognition now, future claims and even current protections are more vulnerable. And while the law calls for consultation, it's not always meaningful if projects go ahead anyway.
That's at the core of why there are protests and legal battles right now. Indigenous groups say their rights to self-determination are being weakened. They're fighting back in court, on the streets, and even internationally. But does this legal win set an example for other countries?
It does. This shows that strong Indigenous advocacy, combined with legal action and public support, can achieve land rights, even against powerful economic interests. And it's not just symbolic. Indigenous stewardship has concrete impacts for conservation and climate. Do you think this could influence policy in other countries?
It's possible. More and more evidence shows that Indigenous land management is effective for both climate and biodiversity goals. If the Amazon, the world's largest rainforest, benefits, there's a strong case for others to follow. But with ongoing threats, constant vigilance is still needed, right?
Exactly. This is a significant win, but it's not guaranteed to last. Without continued enforcement, real community involvement, and legal safeguards, these gains could fade. What happened with the Munduruku is a reminder. Recognition is just the start, not the finish, of the effort for Indigenous and environmental rights.
So in summary, Brazil has recognized Munduruku land rights, which could strengthen Amazon protection if enforcement and collaboration stay strong. But legal and political threats are still out there, and the world should pay close attention. What can listeners do if they want to support?
Stay informed, share Indigenous voices, and support policies that put Indigenous stewardship at the center of environmental decisions. The future of the Amazon and the climate depends on it.
The Munduruku's victory is a real-world test for Indigenous rights and climate protection. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Try it now, free.